Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked, where I climb the online Series 2 VGC ladder in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and provide live commentary as I go. In this video, I'm going to be trying out a team featuring Stonjourner. This team actually got top 16 at the Orlando Regional Championships back in the beginning of February, and that was the largest VGC regionals in the history of the game, and Stonjourner was definitely one of the big surprise picks that I saw when looking at the top teams from that tournament. So you might be wondering, what does Stonjourner actually do? The idea is that through its ability, you're able to increase the damage output of Stonjourner's partners, which is really nice, and this is combined with Life Orb Flutter Mane with Fairy Terra, Dazzling Gleam, and Shadow Ball, and so you can just deal massive amounts of damage with the combination of Flutter Mane and Stonjourner. This team also has Indeedee and Armarouge, and what's interesting is that a lot of the Pokemon that often counter Indeedee and Armarouge, especially Dark-type Pokemon, Flutter Mane and Stonjourner have a really good matchup into. To round out the team, you also have Iron Hands and Brute Bonnet, and I think that this team is just really fast-paced in terms of offense and also really fun to play. So, as always, I'll do a quick breakdown of the team, but if you want to just skip to the battles, check out the timestamps down in the description below, and thank you so much as always for watching. If you enjoy, would really appreciate it if you consider leaving a like on the video or subscribing to the channel. Really helps out a ton. Anyway, let's break down this team. First of all, a huge thank you to Jonathan, aka Waka, for building and sharing this team, and a huge congrats to him for getting top 16 at Orlando Regionals with this team. It was really cool to see Stonjourner do so well, and it's a Pokemon that hasn't really historically had that many great VGC performances. And so I've linked Waka's Twitter down in the description below, as well as a rental and a paste. Waka actually did a really in-depth team report for this team as well with Audie, who's an amazing VGC player and content creator, so highly recommend you go check out that video if you really want to get into the nitty-gritty about how this team was created and how you can play with it. And question of the day, I want to know what Pokemon you think should get an ability like Stonjourner's and what that ability really should be. But let's talk about Stonjourner. Now, this Pokemon, I think a lot of people think of purely as support thanks to its ability Power Spot, which essentially boosts the power of your allies' attacks by 1.3x. But Stonjourner honestly actually does a lot of damage as well. It's base 125 attack and base 135 defense, right? The main thing is that its special defense is so low that you're basically going to get two-shot by any special attack. And I say two-shot because you have the Focus Sash, right? Otherwise, you often will just get one shot by special attacks, and I'm thinking things like Flutter Mane, Shadow Ball, or Moonblast, or even Dazzling Gleam, for example. Iron Bundle also exists in the format. Tons of popular special attackers, so that's why you have Focus Sash on this Pokemon. And the idea is Rock Slide with Adamant Max Attack just allows you to maximize your damage output, and I think a lot of people just don't really understand how fast Stonjourner is as well, and so having Adamant Max Speed is really nice, and outspeeding like Armarouges, for example, that aren't fully invested, and attacking them before they really get to move. And so the moveset's fairly standard. Rock Slide for main utility and damage. Low Kick is really valuable into Pokemon like Tyranitar as well as King Gambit. Wide Guard is just super valuable in a format with so many spread moves, especially given how many Paradox Pokemon like spread moves, and then Protect as the final attack, right? And so Stonjourner synergizes really well with the Flutter Mane. This is a Life Orb Flutter Mane, max speed, max special attack, and it's a pretty standard moveset, but you've got a Taunt rather than something like Perish Song. Also, there's actually Dazzling Gleam over Moonblast, and I feel like Dazzling Gleam's been decently popular, but Moonblast is sometimes used over it. The whole point of this Flutter Mane, though, is just to be as offensive as possible, and the thing is, you know, you have Life Orb and you have the Power Spot boost when you synergize these two together, and so Flutter Mane will do so much more damage than your opponents often are expecting it to do, and with this combination, you'll often pick up big one-hit knockouts that your opponents generally won't expect otherwise. And so Fairy Terra also just adds another layer of offense on top of that as well. So Stonjourner and Flutter Mane, honestly, a really solid lead duo if your opponent doesn't have things that immediately outspeed the Flutter Mane. So that's one mode you can think of. Otherwise, you've got Indeedee plus the Armarouge here, fairly standard sets. This is just Psychic Seed, max HP, max defense, Psychic Follow Me, Trick Room, and Helping Hand. So the one thing to note is that there's no Dazzling Gleam on this Indeedee, so keep that in mind. Fairy Terra for defensive capabilities, especially against Dark-type attacks. Armarouge here is a standard Grass Terra Armarouge. It's just min speed here to make sure you try to move before your opponent's under Trick Room. And the main thing to call out here is that the Armarouge actually does have Protect rather than something like Wide Guard. I feel like a lot of players will play against Armarouge and be like, you know, not all Armarouges carry Protect, but Protect is really valuable. You can sometimes just lead Indeedee Armarouge and just like Protect Trick Room, then Helping Hand Expanding Force or Follow Me Expanding Force and go from there. So this is also a really strong lead. Finally, to round out the team, you've got Iron Hands. This is an Assault Vest set, and so, yeah, it's basically designed to outspeed Pokemon under Trick Room. You have a ton of bulk to work with, as well as a lot of offense, and it's as standard as an Assault Vest Iron Hands set gets. Grass Terra mainly to help out against Amoonguss and Brute Bonnet, and so you can't get hit by Spore. and then Brute Bonnet is the final Pokemon here. This Brute Bonnet's pretty cool. It's not like the loaded dice set. It's actually citrus berry, so you hang on for a little bit longer. This can be really valuable, especially when you're going up into like Dondozo, for example. Like even just a little bit of recovery I have found can go a super long way. Fairy Terra here, which helps out against fighting types, which is really valuable because of course Great Tusk exists in the format. And then you've got Spore, Seed Bomb, Crunch, and Protect. So because you're not running loaded dice, Seed Bomb is a little bit more consistent rather than Bullet Seed, where you don't know exactly how many hits you're going to get. Sometimes players will run Sucker Punch on Brute Bonnet, but I think Crunch is also really good, and Sucker Punch just doesn't synergize that well with this team given the Indeedee setting up Psychic Terrain, and Brute Bonnet being a really prime Pokemon to bring out once you've set up that Trick Room. And so, yeah, I think like in a lot of the games, I'll often think, okay, do I want to lead Stonjourner, Fluttermane, or Indeedee Armarouge? Those are kind of the default leads. And one of the things, you know, that I think is really cool about the team is that a lot of the combos that beat Indeedee Armarouge often involve like Dark-type Pokemon, for example. Fluttermane and Stonjourner can do really well into a lot of the things that people will lead to beat Indeedee and Armarouge. And I think when people see this team in team preview, they're immediately going to be like, okay, I have to counter Indeedee Armarouge with my lead matchup, but they don't think about Stonjourner and Fluttermane nearly as much. So you can utilize that to your advantage. Of course, there are other ways that you could lead, for example, Iron Hands plus the Armarouge fake out into Trick Room immediately. You could go Brute Bonnet with the Armarouge. Know that you don't have Rage Powder on this Brute Bonnet, you have Protect instead, and so it's not like you can just redirect super effective attacks away from Armarouge, for example, but Brute Bonnet then can obviously apply pressure with Spore immediately, and Stonjourner, of course, can give a damage boost to everything. It's not solely for Fluttermane. I just mainly primarily use it with Fluttermane, but don't discount like the increase in damage output that you can give to all of the other Pokemon on the team as well. So yeah, that's it for a quick breakdown. Let's quickly highlight some weaknesses. So in terms of weaknesses that I run into, I think the first thing to call out is that this team performed incredibly well in an open team sheet environment, which was also best of 3 rather than closed team sheet environment on ladder and best of 1, right? And so like I think it's a really strong team. I think closed team sheet, it can feel a little bit more volatile, especially because, for example, Fluttermane and Stonjourner essentially have no bulk whatsoever, and so these Pokemon can get knocked out really quickly. And what I mean by that is, for example, I've had games where I lead Fluttermane and Stonjourner, and maybe my opponent leads Armarouge, and I'm like, oh, like, I don't know if they have Wide Guard, for example, right? And if you're going up against opposing Paradox Pokemon, like not knowing where the booster energy is, where the Focus Sash is, it just makes it a little bit more challenging for Fluttermane and Stonjourner to just like clean through immediately without knowing your opponent's full sets. And because both of these are really frail, they can go down super quickly, right? And so I've had games where maybe I just like attack into a Pokemon that protects, and then like Fluttermane just gets one hit KO'd, right? Because you don't have Focus Sash on the Fluttermane here. And so yeah, I think like opposing Pokemon, especially with booster energy, like gives them a speed boost, can be pretty scary because then Fluttermane just gets outsped, gets threatened by a knockout, for example. Wide Guard's really good against the Fluttermane, the Stonjourner, as well as the Armarouge, right? Because it blocks the Rock Slide, the Dazzling Gleam, as well as the Expanding Force. So that can be kind of scary. And yeah, I think so. Just keep that in mind. With the close team sheet best of 1 environment, like games can feel really, really volatile. Obviously, if you're trying to go the Trick Room mode with Armarouge and Indeedee, I think one thing that I always get worried about is seeing a Fluttermane in team preview and be like, okay, Imprison Fluttermane with Trick Room has been picking up, and so that's one way that you can give Indeedee and Armarouge some trouble, especially because Fluttermane's special defense is actually pretty decent, and in a closed team sheet environment where you don't know about your opponent's Fluttermane set, it can be really scary because I've had games where I do just lead Indeedee Armarouge, I try to go follow me Trick Room, Imprison comes out, and then I just basically can't do anything because I have Iron Hands and Brute Bonnet in the back, and the core is just way too slow, and without Trick Room going up, my opponent can kind of overwhelm me with offense. So that's one other thing to keep in mind. I think in terms of Pokemon that can be problematic, Waka actually even said in his team report that Dark Terra Arcanine in particular was pretty scary. Now, what's interesting is the Armarouge actually has Covert Cloak. I didn't touch on that in the team part, but Covert Cloak helps against Fake Out as well as Snarl special attack drops and just special attack drops in general. But if you have Dark Terra Arcanine, it's like then Armarouge can't really hit it with Expanding Force, and so things can be a little bit scarier where you're kind of forced to maybe Armor Cannon, but Arcanine's pretty bulky, so I wouldn't expect that to get a knockout, right? I think Dark-type Pokemon in general can be a little bit scary, especially because they just counter Indeedee and Armarouge, but you know, that's kind of where the rest of the team is designed to at least have a slightly better matchup into Arcanine, right? And so I do think a lot of the games I lost while practicing with this team, it was like I lead Stonjourner, Fluttermane, and I just don't like get enough damage early game, and I go down very quickly, like lose one if not both Pokemon, and suddenly I'm just stuck with 2 Pokemon against my opponent's 4, and maybe I've done like 80% of damage to 2 different Pokemon, but it's not enough to actually like get me over the finish line because I've lost too many resources too quickly. So that's one thing to keep in mind. I think Life Orb Fluttermane with no bulk, really powerful obviously, but very, very scary to use, and so like this can completely demolish teams, or it can just go down in one hit without getting anything off, and so you have to keep in mind that that volatility exists when you use this team. But yeah, those are just a couple of things that I've run into. Let's get started with the battles. Alright, we've got Golden Go, Fluttermane, that is not Fluttermane, that's Iron Bundle, Murkrow, Dragonite, Sylveon, and the Baxcalibur. Pretty Tailwind oriented. I would love to go Stonjourner plus the Fluttermane, honestly, but I think Trick Room is probably a little bit more consistent here, because I don't really see how they deny Trick Room. It's just like Rock Slide Dazzling Gleam seems so fun here. You know what? I'm going to go for it. I'll go with Armor and Infinity in the back, but Stonjourner plus the Fluttermane lead is just so fun with this team. Because the main thing is, if you're my opponent, what do you really lead, right? If you expect Infinity and Armor as the lead, you could bring Murkrow, I guess, if Murkrow had Snarl. Otherwise, if it's Assault Vest Dragonite with Ice Spinner, I think that's also pretty solid. But yeah, I think like Fluttermane with Life Orb Dazzling Gleam here just does a ton of damage across the board. Let's see what they go with. Because we just have so much super effective damage with Fluttermane. It's going to be Golden Gull and Sylveon. Okay. Golden Gull, Sylveon. Honestly, Wide Guard is really powerful here. I could go just Wide Guard into Shadow Ball and Golden Go turn 1. I think Golden Go probably Terras here, but it's fine if they click Make It Rain. The alternative is to just like go super offensive, but I'm down to Shadow Ball Rock Slide turn 1. Or sorry, Shadow Ball Wide Guard turn 1. Okay, there's the Terra. Into Golden Go, yep. Into Steel, no major surprise there. No, it's Life Orb, plus we have the Power Spot boost, but I don't think it's going to get a KO. The main question here is, do they play into Wide Guard? Because if so, we actually have such a huge advantage going into turn 2. But they could totally like Shadow Ball and Quick Attack, right? Nice. Yeah, like that's the beauty of this, because it's like so tempting to just click Make It Rain into both of these Pokemon, but yeah, now we basically take no damage. And a Hyper Voice. That is the power of Stonjourner, everybody. Beautiful. That Shadow Ball did a ton onto Golden Go as well. My main question is whether or not Dazzling Gleam, if I Terra, gets the knockout. Because I kind of want to just, like, Rock Slide, Fairy, Terra, Dazzle. I'm down for it. Yeah, like, that turn 1 alone puts me in such a good spot. And that's the beauty of having Wide Guard on Stonjourner. I think, like, for example, they could have clicked, like, Shadow Ball plus, like, Terra Blast, potentially, onto the Fluttermane slot. But, yeah. Like, if I don't have Wide Guard there, I don't click it, they just get a double knockout, right? So it's tempting to go for that, but... Here's Life Orb, Dazzling Gleam, Fairy, Terra boosted with the Power Spot. That's just a KO onto Golden Go. Beautiful. That's eliminated. I don't think single target Rock Slide here gets the KO, unfortunately, but it is a base 125 attack Pokemon. Stonjourner does not miss. Rock Slide connects. Almost gets the knockout there. And Stonjourner is klutz and gets the flinch as well. Like, that's one of the things about Stonjourner, right? It's actually decent base speed, especially because this is admin max speed as well. And so you're able to just, like, kind of catch opponents off guard. Iron Bundle comes out. Yeah, I mean, I revealed Wide Guard earlier. I'm actually happy to just click Rock Slide and Dazzling Gleam again here. Rock Slide alone is so powerful into them right now. So, yeah, they go for Freeze Dry. I should survive that, I would expect. Yeah, not even close. Beautiful. This should just be a double knockout. The flinch was pretty lucky, but I don't think a Hyper Voice from Sylveon would have finished me off anyway, so it was fine. Low Kick was actually, I guess, slightly more optimal here. Rock Slide does more damage and covers for like a Sylveon switch out there, but Low Kick would have guaranteed the knockout onto the Iron Bundle. But Rock Slide connects here, so... This is the power of this combination, right? It can, like, sweep through teams so quickly. So let's see what the last one is. Baxcalibur. Yep. They already committed their Terra, so Dazzling kind of just cleans up very easily for us. Just Low Kick and Dazzling Gleam. And that is the power of Stonjourner plus Flutterman. I'm really glad to just feature this game. I think, like, it's a really volatile lead duo, right? Because you're super frail with both Pokemon, but it has the power to just, like, overwhelm your opponent very quickly. I think the main interesting thing is, like, how I would play turn 1 differently if they, like, predicted the wide guard. Like, I could go Protect and even, like, a low kick into Golden Go expecting Steel Terra, but it's a little bit scary, right? The upside, though, is, like, forcing the Terra so early from my opponent makes it easier for me to kind of play the end game. And basically, I felt like even if we didn't get that much value out of Flutterman and Stonjourner, Indeedee and Armarouge was really good to clean up against their team because, like, Expanding Force in general was just really powerful. So, yeah, basically the idea was to kind of, like, dish out a lot of damage early and then sweep the game with the Indeedee Armarouge, but we just got so much value out of Stonjourner, Flutterman, and that was basically, like, a perfect game for that duo. So, yeah. Okay, we got Dondozo Tatsugiri for this one with Fluttermane, Dragonite, Iron Moth, and Baxcalibur. So no psychic resistances or immunities, so naturally, like, Indeedee Armarouge seems pretty good. You know, the interesting thing here is often these teams don't have Focus Sash on the Fluttermane. Like, they'll like to run Life Orb. So, like, I'm actually thinking about Stonjourner and the Fluttermane. I don't know, though. I think, like, Psy Spam here is so strong. Because even if you have Struggle Bug, we have Covert Cloak on this. Actually, my fear is Imprison on Fluttermane. But I guess I could just follow me into Expanding Force, right? The interesting thing is, like, do I actually go Brute Bonnet and the Iron Hands in the back? They're both really good in this matchup. I honestly really want to go Stonjourner and Fluttermane again. And then I'll go Brute Bonnet and Iron Hands in the back. I think the Indeedee Armarouge combo is honestly really safe here. But one of the reasons I wanted to feature this team was to try to bring Stonjourner to as many battles as possible. So there was probably another route in which I could have gone Indeedee Armarouge, Stonjourner, and then one of Brute Bonnet and Iron Hands. But Iron Moth and Fluttermane. Okay. Yeah, so a big question I have here is how fast their Fluttermane is. Just curious if they're max speed, because often they're a little bit bulkier on these teams. So I could, like, just Shadow Ball here and Rock Slide turn 1. I think that's one possible play. I could also Protect and Rock Slide, or Protect Stonjourner or Shadow Ball. Those are the 3 options. Okay, I'm honestly down for Protect Rock Slide here, turn 1. No Terra from their end. Okay, no switch. There's Protect. Nice. Beautiful. Acid Spray into our Fluttermane. That's already a really good start. Beautiful. Okay, Shadow Ball into Fluttermane as well. Ah, we missed Rock Slide. Okay. Okay. What a shame. That would have done so much damage to both Pokemon. Alright, I'm gonna Shadow Ball Fluttermane here. I'm thinking about Terrain, but I don't think it's worth it. Okay, now I'm curious how fast their Fluttermane is. Okay, we move first. This is Life Orb and Power Spot boosted. But they are Focus Sashed, okay. Yeah, like if... Given that, man, if I just get that Rock Slide off onto either Pokemon turn 1, we're in such good shape. They'll Moonblast Fluttermane. Okay, it's fine. You have got to be kidding me. Oh my gosh. I don't think I can win after 3 Rock Slide misses and 4 tries. That is so disappointing. Well, that's Pokemon for you, right? Like, what can I do other than laugh it off? I'm curious what their solution into Indeedee Armrouge was, because I was curious if they had Imprison on this. If I were my opponent, I would actually protect Iron Moth right now and like Moonblast into Iron Hands. I just can't really get around that. I should survive a Moonblast at least, so I don't know. I think I'll just Volt Switch here into Rock Slide. So disappointing. Yeah, Iron Moth does protect. Moonblast into Stonjourner. Okay. I could have protected Stonjourner there and Volt Switched. Yeah, that would have been actually pretty huge for me, but it's okay. I think, like, the expectation is their last one's Dondozo, right? The problem is that they haven't Terra'd yet, so it's a question of what Terra are you? But even with the Rock Slide misses, I think this is still winnable, so I don't want to give up. I think objectively, Indeedee Armrouge would have worked out fairly well into this. I just wanted to see if I could get Flutter Mane and Stonjourner to work, and honestly, it would have if I didn't get all those misses, but that's okay. This turn is interesting. Do you switch Iron Moth immediately out into the Tatsugiri and then, like, Terra Dondozo? Like, I think I want to Terra, Volt Switch, and Protect here. Okay. They go into Tatsugiri. We have a shot. With Brute Bonnet and Spore, I think there's a possibility. It comes down, in my opinion, to what kind of Terra the Dondozo is here. Okay, you get your boosts. They could protect here as well. That's actually a pretty safe play. Given that I'm going for Terra here, I'm thinking they're just protecting Dondozo this turn. Which would be a very solid play. Maybe I just give up Stonjourner then. Oh, are they not protecting? That's interesting. Okay, they click Order Up. By the way, this is going to be patched out. Order Up is not supposed to actually give you boosts like that. Man, I wonder how much we would have done just with Wild Charge there, given that they didn't Terra. But I'm honestly fine with this outcome. It's a free switch it into Brute Bonnet now. I think the question now I have is whether or not they have Substitute. It's decently common on Dondozos. They go for Sub and like Terra. I don't know. Like I want to just Spore here. Speed. I honestly kind of expect Sub. Okay, I'm gonna Spore and a Low Kick here. Okay, they just Order Up. Oh, is it Chesto Berry? I feel like it probably is. If not, though, this is actually still totally winnable, I think. I guess it's tough with Grass Terra, though, because now both of my Pokemon are weak to the Iron Moth. Yeah, and it's Chesto. Ah, okay. That means it's Rest, right? Which is also really bad for me. Oh, but maybe you don't have Protect, which would be a big deal. I'm going to Fake Out plus Spore this turn. Terra on their end would make sense. Okay, they don't Terra. Get Fake Out. Okay. Yeah, this is winnable, I think, if they... Because, like, Iron Hands has Assault Vest, right? It's super bulky, so I can Seed Bomb now. And the question is whether or not... I really don't want to click close combat because I really don't want to lower my defense and special defense. I guess Wild Charge I take recoil though, right? I might actually click close combat then. I just don't know what Terra they are, but like Steel Terra, Dragon Terra, close combat's just stronger against. So definitely Seed Bombing. Alright, I'm gonna click Wild Charge for now, especially because I don't know what fire type attack the Iron Moth has. Okay, it's Sleep Talk. Yeah, that's fine. They managed to land order up. Okay, it does less than half. So Wild Charge just straight up get the knockout here. I honestly don't want it to KO, right? Okay, yeah, because I can pick up a double knockout now. With Seed Bomb. And Close Combat, assuming they're Choice Scarf on Tatsugiri. Yeah. Okay, they stay asleep. Did they go for Sleep Talk again? Oh, I mean, they definitely did, right? Yeah. Okay. They hit Earthquake, that's fine. Should survive with Bolt. Yep. It's really going to come down to what fire type attack I think Iron Moth has and whether or not the Tatsugiri has Focus Sash here. No, you don't have Sash. Sorry, the Sash was on the Flutter Mane. Okay. They never Terra'd, by the way, which I thought was really interesting. I just wasn't sure if Wild Charge was going to get this KO, but I think Close Combat should. Nice, okay. 2v1 now. Into Iron Moth with like 10% HP. Did the Grass Terror really do anything for me? Yeah, it was valuable in making sure I wasn't weak to Earthquake or really anything else. Like, okay. Alright, -1, Grass Assault Vest. You have no boosts. It's going to be, whoops, Crunch into Iron Moth and just Wild Charge into the Moth. I guess Close Combat's actually better there. Okay, Terra, Fire Terra makes sense. Dark, okay. Pretty sure Crunch still KOs you. Like, it's Admin, Brute Bonnet, 100 attack EVs. They Heat Wave, but they miss! Justice! Oh, Brute Bonnet survived anyway. Okay, we were fine. And Crunch gets the KO. Oh, that's why you don't give up in Pokemon, ladies and gentlemen. Holy moly. I mean, I'm proud of finding that comeback. We literally missed 3 Rock Slides in the first 2 turns. But I think what helped here was fighting around Dondozo in a good way, you know, and basically positioning Brute Bonnet to get that Spore off into the Dondozo slot. It was funny because, like, Chesto plus Rest is scary, but in the end, I actually think it maybe worked in my favor that my opponent had that because they couldn't protect, and so I was basically guaranteed sleep against it. But I thought it was interesting they didn't commit a Terra. I thought they would have been better off using their Terra on the Dondozo. But I think this game was really important in highlighting how you can, like, figure out beating Dondozo and Tatsugiri, right? Like, especially knowing that the Tatsugiri was, like, not Focus Sashed, and having, like, the Iron Hands, which was slower than the Brute Bonnet, to just guarantee the knockout onto Tatsugiri was really, really essential. So, yeah. That game was obviously frustrating, but we managed to win. I'm just curious, like, what their Indity Armrouge answer was, but I think if the Flutter Mane had Imprison, like, things would have gotten pretty ugly pretty quickly. Which is why I wanted to prioritize going with Stonjourner and Flutter Mane. But it was scary, right? Because I actually had to make a prediction on turn 1. The prediction worked out well. Just the 1% chance of double missing Rock Slide happened. But, yeah. I think games like this should highlight why, even if you get really unlucky in Pokemon, you can find ways to win. And so, yeah, obviously, quite happy about finding that comeback victory. I'm curious what Terra the Dondozo was in the end. Like, I imagine it was... I don't know. If it were Dragon Terra, I think they would have been in really good shape to just have Terra the Dondozo. Maybe it was like Steel though, but Dragon is typically what you see on those sets, and so I think the game would have looked really differently if it was just a Dragon Terra, for example. I guess the thing it kind of boils down to is still like how much damage I do with Crunch and Close Combat. The main thing is like, it would have taken me longer to KO Dondozo, right? And then Dondozo, if it wakes up, is able to just like rest up and heal up. But I think one of the things in Pokemon, especially when you're playing from behind, is like hoping for your opponent to basically not play perfectly and like trying to capitalize off any single mistake that they make. And so, yeah, I would love to know what the Terra on Dondozo was ultimately, but whew, what a battle. Okay, really interesting team. Dragapult, Iron Hands, Armarouge, Abomasnow, King Gambit, and Slowbro. Sorry, Slowpoke. Not Slow... It is Slowbro. I used Slowpoke in a few videos ago. If you want to see me try it out, I'll link it down in the description below. But yeah, it's still like top of mind for me. Okay, so what do we think here? First of all, they don't have any fairy resistances, so Dazzling Gleam is just pretty powerful from Fluttermane. Honestly, Fluttermane looks really good. Like, I'm down to just go Fluttermane Stonjourner for a third time. Like, Indy Armarouge, not that good into Slowbro. Nor is it good into the... Like, Armarouge could have Wide Guard, for example. I'm actually down to just go with the Iron Hands and Brute Bonnet again. Alright, let's do it. I did not expect to be going with Fluttermane Stonjourner as a lead in every game, but it just feels like it works. Once again, though, it is pretty volatile, right? Like, I think turn 1 in both of the games worked out very much in my favor, but there were so many things that could have gone wrong for me. For example, in the first game, if they just expected Wide Guard, and in the second game, if they just doubled up onto Stonjourner instead. Okay, this is an interesting turn 1. What do we want to do here? I've got low kick, so I can low kick into King Gambit. Trick Room is scary, but if they Trick Room, honestly, Iron Hands and Brute Bonnet take advantage of it. I'm not that worried about Trick Room, right? I think Slowbro might want to Terra here defensively, but then they're not going to expect low kick into King Gambit. Like, I'm honestly down to switch into Iron Hands right now and actually just straight up low kick into King Gambit. Because I don't think you're going to expect low kick here from Stonjourner. And then Iron Hands gets well positioned going into turn 2. Also, they might like try to Sucker Punch with King Gambit. The main question is where the Terra is here, right? If I were them, I would Terra the Slowbro. Nice. Dark Terra. Yep, that makes sense. Now you're weak to close combat from my Iron Hands. Oh, Stony, Stony, Stony. Go off, King. Nice. Okay, yeah, got that turn 1 completely right. The turn 1s have like given me so much momentum so far throughout the course of this video. Oh, I'm so like Stonjourner featured how like why he was so good in the first game with Wide Guard. In this game, just being able to low kick King Gambit so satisfying. So let's see what they bring out. But we're super well positioned right now, right? Like they set up Trick Room, but they lost one of their most important attackers. I have Fake Out support with Iron Hands this next turn. Stonjourner can also protect, and Abomasnow comes out. Okay, works for me. This is still very far from over, though, so I really don't want to get ahead of myself, right? Honestly, Fake Out Rock Slide this turn works. I'm down to Fake Out into the Abomasnow slot and click Rock Slide here. Good protect. Nicely done. It's fine, though, because I have the Focus Sash on Stonjourner. And I have Brute Bonnet just kind of waiting in the back to come out as well right now. Okay, they're actually Chilling Water into Iron Hands, which is fine by me. Free Rock Slide still. Okay. Little chip onto Slowbro. Good Chilling Water again. Slowbro in the end game isn't really that scary, and we have Stonjourner's boost in damage right now. I'm honestly happy to click Close Combat into the Abomasnow and then protect with the Stonjourner right now. Like, late game Flutter Mane's going to clean up this game, I think, if we get to that state. Yep, nice chilling water once again, but with the Salt Vest here, it just takes such little damage. So I am at -2 attack, and they have the snow up, but this should still do over 50, yeah. Okay, maybe Blizzard. Yep, that's fine. Yeah, we take less than half. No freeze, perfect. Even if you chilling water again, I still just KO your Abomasnow, honestly, because I outspeed you under Trick Room. So I'm honestly happy to just click Close Combat into Abomasnow. I guess Slowbro could have, like, Psychic? That shouldn't KO me, though, right? With the Salt Vest? Yeah, like, I'm happy to Close Combat here, and then just Low Kick into Slowbro. Oh, that's sick. Okay, that's cool. I didn't expect that. Ooh, that changes things pretty dramatically, because they'll get another Blizzard off. I think it should still be okay, but... Oh, but they Energy Ball instead of Blizzarding. Okay, that's huge for us. Yeah. You get crit, but it's fine. It makes sense maybe why they didn't want to click Blizzard, though. Like, fear of Wide Guard. That's one thing that Stonjourner does really well. Good damage with Low Kick. So it's Chilling Water, Trick Room, Heal Pulse. This is the last turn of Trick Room now. I think it's likely they might consider Heal Pulsing again. But Abomasnow is at lower HP, so Close Combat might just KO. So I'm happy to just click Close Combat right now into the Abomasnow slot, I think. And Protect with the Stonjourner. I thought about Volt Switching here. I just didn't love the idea of Volt Switching, and then, like, Flutter Mane ends up getting frozen by Blizzard. But I actually think maybe Wide Guard Volt Switch could have worked here. I think this turn I could have played better. I shouldn't have rushed it as much as I did. Because I think I had the ability to, like, have some more pressure going into next turn. They just offer Chilling Water, though. Okay, cool. So Abomasnow will faint now. Yeah. This is where having Stonjourner's ability is really nice, right? Like, I was at -2 attack, -3 attack. They had the snow defense boost, and I was still basically getting a 2-hit knockout onto Abomasnow here. Trick Room expires. Chilling Water, Trick Room. Heal Pulse. Armor Rouge comes out. Okay. Got Brute Bonnet and Flutter Mane, and I still have Interra. So Brute Bonnet at this point should be very good into my opponent's side. I think I'm happy to just Close Combat into Slowbro and Rock Slide. Curious how fast the Armor Rouge is on their side, but without the ability to Terra from their end now, I guess my only fear is if it's Safety Goggles Armor Rouge, but I have Brute Bonnet, I can just Terra Grass Crunch it. I don't think Slowbro here is going to have Protect either. Nice, Stonjourner's just the fastest. That does so much damage, wow. Iron Hand's outsped as well, so they're Trick Rooming with Armor Rouge then. But that's game over. Stonjourner put on a clinic in this one. It was so good. But part of it was positioning Iron. I mean, that turn one, I think, kind of like won me the game. It was such a good turn one that I feel like if I lost, I would have, like, just really botched it. And we actually even get the flinch. Stonjourner at least says, like, you know, even though it missed in game 2, it's been getting these flinches, so shoutouts to it. Wild Charge and just Rock Slide again here. That'll be a KO. Yeah, Stonjourner was so strong here. That's the thing that I really like about this team, though, because you think about it and it's like, okay, Flutter Mane and Stonjourner, it's really fast-paced, especially in terms of Flutter Mane. It's really frail, but when you have Iron Hands and Brute Bonnet in the back, it's like, okay, even if my opponent sets up Trick Room, I'm actually not that worried. I am curious about the item on King Gambit, but yeah, I think like our lead just applied so much offensive pressure that it's like, okay, you can either defensively Terra Slowbro or your King Gambit, but you can't do both, right? And I threaten you with the one-hit knockout onto both Pokemon, so whoever doesn't Terra basically could get a huge advantage. But, for example, in a best of 3, my opponent will likely think about Terraing their King Gambit instead of the Slowpoke or Slowbro on turn 1, and then things can play out pretty differently. But yeah, I'm really happy to showcase why Low Kick exists on this set. Okay, we've got Great Tusk, Flutter Mane, Corviknight, Arcanine, Tyranitar, and Iron Bundle for this one. Where's the Focus Sash? Like, I'm not sure you'd run Sash on Fluttermane here, given the Tyranitar on the team. Sash Tusk, Life Orb, Fluttermane, Booster Energy, Bundle makes sense, but it also could be like a Life Orb on the Tusk. Corviknight's really scary here. Because Stone... I guess, I mean, I could go for, like, Life Orb Shadow Ball into it, but meh. I'm not as excited about Stonjourner plus Fluttermane here. This could be an Indeedee Armarouge game. Honestly, it's just the Tyranitar from there and that scares me. Maybe I actually lead with Iron Hands. I feel like Iron Hands is really good here. Like, Iron Hands Brute bought it? I guess it could just be Iron Hands Armarouge. Ah, this one's so tricky. I don't know. We do have low kick for Tyranitar, so maybe Stonjourner is fine. I don't know. Okay, I'm not going into DD Armarouge, and the main reason for that is because they have Tyranitar and Corviknight. But I think Indeedee Armarouge was fine in this one. I just couldn't figure out how to bring it and also bring Stonjourner and also bring all the Pokemon I want into this matchup. But I think this is one thing that makes this team so cool, right? Like, your opponents are pretty much always leading in a way to beat Indeedee Armarouge specifically. Corviknight plus Great Tusk. I think Corviknight's such a problem for me here. I think Tusk likely defensively Terras on turn 1. So, like, I'm actually intrigued by the idea of protecting here and then clicking low kick onto Great Tusk. Just for damage, and then I can Shadow Ball it next turn. I also recently ran into Choice Scarf, Iron, or Steel Terra Great Tusk. I'm curious what the Indeedee Armarouge solution against was actually given this lead. Like, because with Indeedee Armarouge, I could have gone Trick Room with Indeedee Grass Terra Armarouge and just Armor Cannon. Oh, Tusk actually protects. They could be Trick Rooming here. Could also be Brave Bird. Brave Bird, Sorry, I said Trick Room. Tailwind, Brave Bird, Body Press, Iron Defense. Honestly, all good moves here. Okay, they end up Iron heading into Fluttermane. Is it ever a switch here? I just, like, the problem is I don't know if they're gonna click Earthquake or just, like, go all out with offense. Going for Shadow Ball Rock Slide here to try to get rid of Great Tusk, but they actually switch, which is really well done on their end. Okay, what's coming out? Okay, Arcanine. That's not the worst, I guess. My problem is I'm probably just fainting with Fluttermane here, though. This is going to do a lot. I actually wonder if we can just KO Arcanine with this double up. Are you Citrus Berry? No Citrus. And we're faster than Corviknight. Oh, a flincher would be so huge. Crit onto Arc. I think that was a crit onto both, yeah. Obviously, it doesn't matter on the Arcanine. I care more about a flinch than a crit right now. A flinch would actually just, like, be so game-defining, but... Oh! No flinch, but they Iron Hand into Stonjourner. Okay. That also works. That works. That's really big. I wonder if Shadow Ball KOs Corviknight thanks to that critical hit. Man, Stonjourner's variance has been so crazy throughout this episode. We're, like, missing all these attacks, but we're also getting all these flinches and crits. It's like... just both ends of the spectrum. It's kind of funny to me. A lot of Corviknights don't carry Protect is the thing. So I kind of want to take the Shadow Ball and just go Shadow Ball into Corviknight and then Protect with Stonjourner right now. Because honestly, I think Corviknight's a huge pain to deal with. Okay, Stonjourner protects. Nice, no protect from Corbinite. Life Orb Shadow Ball boosted by Stonjourner as well. Gets the KO, excellent. So we're up 4-2, but I think it's very likely Flutter Mane now goes down. Curious if they Earthquake here. I could have gone for Wide Guard. Actually, I think objectively Wide Guard's just the better move there, right? It's fine. We can go out into Iron Hands now first. I feel like would Wide Guard have won me the game? I mean, I get another free attack off. And, okay, they brought out Tyranitar, so I'm... you would think this is Flying Terra, right? So, this turn's interesting. One, does Great Tusk go for a Protect? And then two, with Stonjourner... Man, I mean, I want to just low-kick Tyranitar, but I'd expect Flying Terra. So, like, Fake Out into Tusk is fine. I think Tusk... The other thing is, like, Tusk might go for a Protect here, and, like, Fake Out would allow me to break Sash, but do I want to read into a Protect and, like, target Tyranitar expecting Assault Vest? I think for now I'm happy to click Fake Out into Great Tusk and just low-kick into Tyranitar. But I think surely, you know, Tyranitar Terra's here. You're up against Iron Hands. That alone is pretty scary. This is going to be a close finish. Yep, there's the Terra. Flying. Okay. Part of me wanted to go all in and go like Wild Charge Rock Slide Tyranitar this turn and try to just go for the win from there, but... Okay, they didn't protect Tusk, so I break a potential Sash that way at least. That's good. Slow kick. They just Rock Slide, okay. So yeah, I have to be pretty careful about how I play around Great Tusk in this endgame. I like Wide Guarding with Stonjourner. I think the question with Iron Hands is... Do I Terra defensively? Because they could go for Headlong Rush into Iron Hands. Because I want to, like, Terra Grass, Wild Charge, Tyranitar, and then Wide Guard. But things could go kind of wrong here. Tusk is actually a pretty big pain, isn't it? The other thing is, with Brute Bonnet in the back, it can just close combat as well. Okay, there's Wide Guard. Nice. Earthquake. Great to see that. They Rock Slided earlier. I feel like they just did not respect Wide Guard at all this set. Nicely done. That was beautiful. Does that KO me? Okay, no, it doesn't KO. Still scary though, right? We do one-shot Tyranitar though. It's gonna be a really close finish. That was a really nice play. The Terra actually worked against me there, hilariously enough. If I had saved my Terra for Brute Bonnet, I would have won this game. But I was worried about them clicking Headlong Rush into Iron Hands, so I didn't want to risk that. Great Tusk could still totally win this game, even though it's a 3v1, which is wild, right? See, the thing is, Tusk could protect right now, so, like, to expect Iron Hands to get finished off by Sandstorm, so I could switch into Brute Bonnet. If I were them, I honestly would protect. I'll go Brute Bonnet and low kick here. Yeah, Tusk is just pretty well positioned because it outspeeds the entire team right now. Okay, they did protect. Good. Now is where the game gets really interesting, in my opinion. There's some big mind games. We still haven't even seen a headlong rush, but yeah. I thought I had to grass Terra there. I don't regret it, but 2 turns of Sandstorm left. I could protect Brute Bonnet. And low kick into Great Tusk. Because then Sandstorm expires after this turn. Okay, this is, I don't know, this is scary. Because obviously they could just target Stonjourner, but... Nice. Okay, that's big. This isn't going to do that much though, right? Well, that's not bad. Thing is, I won't have... Well, I will have Wide Guard with Stonjourner. Like, is low kick a 2-hit knockout onto this? I don't expect to survive a close combat from Great Tusk, that's for sure. With the defense drop, I would think low kick's a 2-hit knockout onto Tusk. Okay. Yep, they close combat into Brute Bonnet. Is enough for KO. Was it ever switch in Iron Hands there? Not sure. Okay, another low kick will KO. Sandstorm subsides. It's basically a mind game, right? Because right now it's whether or not they click Earthquake. Yeah. So like here, Great Tusk should always protect. So I'm just gonna blow Fake Out plus low kick. I need to get this mind game correct. It's do I Wide Guard and attack? Or do I just attack with both Pokemon expecting them to not click Earthquake? I'm going to be honest, if I were my opponent's shoes, I would be clicking Earthquake. Because essentially, close combat plus low kick wins me the game if they don't go for Earthquake. If they go for Earthquake, Wide Guard plus close combat wins me the game. So their play is either to close combat Iron Hands or Earthquake. I guess, I mean, with Iron Hands, I'm always clicking close combat onto Tusk. It's just Wide Guard or low kick here. Yeah, I would click Earthquake in their position. I'm going to Wide Guard. Because I've been using low kick so much, right? Let's go. Haha. Woo, that feels good. What a game. Dude, these battles were honestly amazing. I'm so happy about it. I like got my butt kicked so much while using this team. And I really had to learn from the losses, I think, but that was nuts. All of these games were honestly really nuts. GG. Yeah, I think the main thing was that Terra Blast onto the Terra Blast onto Iron Hands was so well done on their end. So kudos. That was really, really good. I think I don't regret going for the Terra there though, because if they just like headlong rush into the Iron Hands, I just lose the game immediately from there, I would think. Is there any chance in which Brute Bonnet could win? I don't know, especially with Flying Terra, no way from Tyranitar, right? I just don't see a path to victory from there. So, yeah. What a game. Alright, I figured I'd play one last one here today, and we've got Grimmsnarl, Luxray, Sylveon, Amoonguss, Goldengo, and Volcarona. Maybe I should give India Armrouche a chance today. I feel like we've barely given it any opportunity to shine. It's not bad here. I guess what's interesting is because, like, I don't actually have to care about Snarl. The main thing is that, like, Grimmsnarl is actually a huge pain to deal with, right? And, like, India Armrouche is so passive against it. But maybe I don't need to lead... Yes, leading Stonjourner isn't half bad here, but I'm thinking, like, Iron Hands plus the... Yeah, Iron Hands plus the Flutter Mane. I like Armrouche in the back. Stonjourner really got a chance to shine already today. How do I feel about it in this matchup? Don't love it, but don't hate it either. Bonnet. Meh. Indeedee. Meh. Okay. I think Indeedee's probably a little more consistent, but I want Stonjourner here. I think the thing with Stonjourner is it allows me to potentially pivot out on turn 1, i.e. switch Iron Hands into Stonjourner and just like Fairy Terra Dazzling Gleam as a play. Which is solid. But yeah, it's interesting because I think when I played with this team, I pretty much always led Indeedee, Armarouge, or Stonjourner plus Fluttermane. So it's fun to go with something else. Okay, this is not bad at all. I'm happy to just fake out into Grimmsnarl. I kind of want to Fairy Terra here immediately to guarantee the knockout on a Grim. How bad is that for me if I don't Terra Armarouge or the rest? I don't think Armarouge really needs Grass Terra in this one. I don't think Iron Hands needs Grass Terra, and Stonejourner's Rock anyway. So yeah, honestly, I'm down to just send it. Fake out Grim, Fairy Terra, Dazzling Gleam. Well, I was gonna say it could get awkward if they're Focus Sash Grimmsnarl with a faster Fake Out onto Iron Hands. And they should be faster than Iron Hands if they have Fake Out. Sorry, them having Fake Out doesn't really affect their speed. It's more so I would expect them to get their Fake Out off before Iron Hands. But no Fake Out from them. Beautiful, okay. This is why I wanted to lead this specifically, by the way, because I really don't want Grimmsnarl getting up any screens in this matchup. But honestly, Fluttermane Stonejourner I feel like would have worked out fine here. We would have been able to just Rock Slide Dazzling on turn 1, but now I can potentially just pivot Iron Hands out into Stonejourner and then Shadow Ball next turn. Might be a Quiver Dance here, though. Let's see. Oh, okay. Will-O-Wisp. I guess that's fine for now. I mean, it doesn't feel great eating up that burn with Iron Hands, but it could be worse. That also indicates supportive Volcarona. I'm so used to seeing Quiver Dance like offensive sets, but yeah, support is still really strong. You can run Will-O-Wisp, Struggle Bug, Giga Drain, Bug Buzz. Golden Go comes out. Honestly, I kind of expect Golden Go to steal Terra here, right? I guess it could be Rage Powder into Nasty Plot. Wait, that would be a really nasty combo to go into. They have Will-O-Wisp. I really think they should have Rage Powder here. But the question is whether or not they would click Make It Rain. Or, like, Nasty Plot. I think I want to, like, Volt Switch into Golden Go. I'm actually happily doubling into Golden Go here, basically forcing a Rage Powder. They protect, though. Good protect. It's probably protecting a Struggle Bug. Yeah, I also wasn't sure if they were going to be Choice Specs or not here. Yep. It's a little Struggle Bug. One would expect Rage Powder, right? If I had gone Iron Hands into Stonejourner and just Shadow Balled Volcarona, man, that would have been such a cool play. But the thing here, do they have Rage Powder is the question. Because it could be like Heat Wave, Struggle Bug, Will-O-Wisp, Protect. So the thing is, if they don't have like Rage Powder, like I really want to close combat and Shadow Ball. Maybe I should just switch out Fluttermane though, honestly. I think Fluttermane to Armarouge is actually the right play here, and then Volt Switch out as well. But yeah, that last room was frustrating in the sense that I could have capitalized off it. Now that I've committed my Terra, like Golden Go is just scarier to go up against. Yep, they had it. Okay. So I don't feel that bad about. It's going to be Nasty Plot though, I think, and that's where things get... Oh no, they just click Make It Rain. Okay. That's huge. That's huge. I'm really curious actually how fast Golden Go is relative to Stonjourner. I could go into Fluttermane as well. I prefer Stonjourner. I also have Wide Guard here, but they could like Shadow Ball. Okay, we've seen, by the way, like Will-O-Wisp, Struggle Bug, Rage Powder. Is it ever a Trick Room for me here? It's awkward to set up Trick Room mainly because of the interaction between Fluttermane and Golden Go. I'm actually intrigued by Protect Stonjourner, and I'll switch Armor Rouge out into Iron Hands, because then I can fake out Rock Slide Volcarona next turn. I think there's also a chance Volcarona just doesn't have Protect. If we saw Will-O-Wisp, Struggle Bug, and Rage Powder, like Heat Wave makes sense, or Flamethrower, Overheat. And that means then you wouldn't be able to protect yourself from fake out Rock Slide. But this could be like Rage Powder Nasty Plot. Struggle Bug is fine. I'm hoping they go all in on KOing Stonjourner here and try to click Make It Rain again. Yeah, okay, good. It should be Nasty Plot, though, if you're Protect with Make It Rain like this. So this next turn, it's pretty easy for them to just Nasty Plot up. Which is scary. I want to Rock Slide here and just click Fake Out into Volcarona. We'll see if they have Protect. No Protect, cool. Yeah, my suspicion was right there. No Terra, Rocky Helmet makes sense. Stonjourner is faster than Golden Go. Oh, that's a really big deal. One, it gives me a flinch chance. Two, it means if you steal Terra, I can actually low kick you. Yep, there's Nasty Plot. It's tough. It's like I feel like I know everything my opponent's going to do right now, but I still don't have a very clear path towards victory. But Wide Guard from Stonjourner certainly helps. Sylveon comes out. I need to position Fluttermane in properly right now. I think we give up Iron Hands. Protect. And Volt Switch. Oh, Sylveon. No Terra from their end. Could just click Make It Rain or Shadow Ball into Hyper Voice here. Okay. That was really cool. I definitely didn't expect the Calm Mind on Sylveon. I honestly was not worried about Golden Go much there, but the Calm Mind is very bad for me. Brute Bonnet would have been better here in the endgame over Armor Rouge. Well, not really. Okay. Basically, I'm trying to think about a path towards victory where I don't have to rely on a flinch from Rock Slide, but it's looking kind of dire. If I were them, I would maybe protect Golden Go right now, or you could just steal Terra. I do have Wide Guard. But, like, given that I know I outspeed Golden Go, it's tempting to actually try to just, like, nuke it. They should protect Golden Go, in my opinion. This seems weird. I'm going for Wide Guard Protect. Basically, the hope is to bait out Protect from Golden Go while also surviving Make It Rain and Hyper Voice. Oh my gosh, they didn't Protect or Terra. What? That's wild. But they just clicked Make It Rain. If I just clicked Shadow Ball there, I think I would have won. That's wild to me. No Terra. Maybe they just, I don't know, underestimated the damage output I had. Okay, they did just go for Hyper Voice and Make It Rain, though. So that's good, at least. I can't believe they didn't Terra or Protect there. That's wild. Rock Slide, Shadow Ball is one option. I honestly really want to Shadow Ball low kick the Golden Go, expecting it to steal Terra. It could be Water Terra as well, I guess. I'm a Shadow Ball Rock Slide. Yeah, I'm so shocked they didn't do that last turn, but I guess they probably predicted me to read into it. Okay, Stonjourner, you've gotten a lot of flinches for us today. Flinch here would be really clutch. I'm expecting a miss, though, honestly, given the ups and downs of Stonjourner today. That is not much damage at all. They Calm Mind again, though. Okay, that's huge. That's huge. With leftovers, though, this is like a nightmare to break through, honestly. I think I'm going to double up in a Golden Go right now. I'm going to go Low Kick into it and Shadow Ball into it. I just think Sylveon's too bulky for me to break through in this endgame. They didn't Terra, what? Oh my gosh. I didn't miss a Terra, right? Yeah, Grim, Volcarona, Sylveon. Okay. Oh, I missed I missed the opportunity for a single target Rock Slide there then, but I really wanted to make sure Golden Go didn't get an attack off. Okay, but they Terra Blast here. That's huge. Terra Blast, Calm Mind, Hyper Voice, Protect. Like, the Mind Games from Wideguard Stonjourner, by the way, it's just so strong for us. Okay, I have Taunt. I really want to utilize Taunt. They should Protect here. They Protect here, right? It's crazy that it's 4v1, but I still think I'm actually going to lose. This Calm Mind Sylveon, really cool. It's actually amazing into this entire team comp. Yeah, I want to go Protect Taunt. But did they Protect as well? Yeah. Man, the double Calm Mind, that was really cool. The leftovers is such a big deal here, too. If I switched in Iron Hands there, I would have been able to then fake out Taunt and then go from there. I think Taunt's critical in preventing Protects. The question is whether or not I consider wide guarding right now, and if you're my opponent, what you click. Because I want to switch into Armor Rouge here, and then Taunt into Sylveon. But yeah, I think like not clicking Rock Slide earlier punished me, but I don't know. I just thought Golden Go had to Terra there, right? And I thought it was the optimal play for my opponent. Okay, so Taunt now is up. Yep, they Terra Blast again. Okay, that's good. Into Armor Rouge. Okay, works for me. First I was like, Throat Spray? How do you have Throat Spray and leftovers? But that's not the case. Yeah, this is wild. Now you Hyper Voice, right? I'm trying to think how I can actually sequence this to a victory. It's like, Hyper Voice is just going to start KOing everything. Like, I think I want to Armor Cannon Protect. I'm also running out of Euro time. I really don't want to lose to that, so... I don't know. This Calm Mind Sylveon is such a nightmare to go up against. Imagine if we had Wide Guard on Armor Rouge. That would have been sick. So if I go Iron Hands right now, I can fake out Shadow Ball. It's not going to do that much, though. Okay, I think I'm just going to send it with Stonjourner here. I think this turn is, do I click Wide Guard? I think I'm just going to Rock Slide, but they might just Hyper Voice. Dazzle Rock Slide. I think a Rock Slide flinch actually would maybe just win us the game here. Oh, that actually did pretty good damage. Rock Slide does connect. They Terra Blast! Okay. Nice. Iron Hands. How many turns to taunt? Is that it? Because if it's not, if we have one more turn, Fake Out Dazzle wins. Oh, that was it. Oh. I think they're going to win by the slimmest of margins here because they'll survive another Dazzling Gleam. Okay, yeah. That was so close. Sylveon, really impressive job, though. 1v4 comeback. And they played through the threat of Wide Guard as well. The thing that made the difference here was me clicking low kick rather than rock sliding earlier. But I don't regret low kicking because I think if Golden Go Terra's there into steal and I just don't KO it, they click make it rain, I lose the game immediately. What a wild battle. I'm sure I like missed some plays in this endgame, honestly. I'm sure of it. I'm also just running out of your time. And they save their Terra until the end. It's Fire Terra, isn't it? It's definitely Fire Terra. Well done. I should have clicked Shadow Ball there to at least cover for Fire Terra. Because like Sylveon should not run a Terra that allows them to resist Shadow Ball. But I guess it would do less damage than Gleam, right? Yeah. That was a really, really cool game by my opponent, honestly. Calm Mind, Leftover Sylveon. Not a common set. My opponent made it look amazing here. And part of it is because our team is fairly reliant on special attackers, right? Stonjourner's, well, actually not really. I mean, Stonjourner, Iron Hands, and Brute Bonnet. I guess it's just like the Indy Armarouge and Flutter main combo is, yeah, pretty weak to Sylveon. But it's a completely different game if it's just your standard Sylveon set. The special defense boosts were so important for it there. I'm mainly thinking about like not taking advantage of Taunt more than I could have. And how I could have sequenced that endgame better. But if I brought Iron Hands out first, I would have gone Fake Out Dazzling Gleam. But then the next turn, I protect, give up Iron Hands, Stonjourner. Oh, maybe that was the right ordering then. Yeah, wait, hold on. If I went Iron Hands first, it was a free Fake Out into a Dazzling Gleam. Then I protect the Flutter main, sacrifice Iron Hands to get a free switch into Stonjourner, then it's another Dazzling Gleam into a Rock Slide. And because they were Fire Terra, Rock Slide would have been super effective, and I would have done a little bit more. Basically, I would have had like a little bit more in terms of damage output. So maybe Iron Hands was correct to go into first, but yeah. That was a doozy, though. Either way, that was a really fun set of games, and Leftovers, Calm Mind, Sylveon, I think, like, if there was a game to convince you on why you might want to use that set, this game was the best example of it. Brute Bonnet would have been better for me over Armarouge in this one. Like, I think there was opportunity to win this in the battle itself, but I think if you're looking about adjustments, like, Brute Bonnet is a very clear adjustment I think I would make in a best of 3, because it has Crunch for the Golden Go as well as the Spore and the Seed Bomb for the Sylveon, and I would consider using my Terra on the Brute Bonnet instead, actually. So yeah, I just wanted to like go all in on KOing Grimmsnarl turn 1, but man, I could have also just led Stonjourner and the Flutter main in this one and probably been pretty fine with the turn 1 Dazzling Rock Slide. Like, there's not much they can do against that, but yeah, it's clear their team is like really bulky and very much centered around this Nasty Plot Golden Go as well as the Calm Mind Sylveon, and that turn where they went Nasty Plot and Calm Mind was so wild, so kudos to them. Anyway, I had a blast with this one, and this last game ended up being a lot longer than I expected, but we got 5 full games, and so thanks so much as always for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully that has showed you the power of Stonjourner throughout the games that we've had, and so yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. All right, peace.